Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. This week our special guest is Mr. Mike Hutchens. He is the School Communications Director for the Union City School System. How are you doing?
I'm good, Charles. How are you?
Everything's good. You know, it doesn't seem like it's been a year since we did this program. We do this every year before the start of school. It just seems like no time we were sitting here doing the same thing.
Closer we get to the finish line, Charles, the faster the time goes. You always heard that growing up,
That's
and you thought that was a misnomer or fake news, and certainly it's not. And you know, it's been a whirlwind year. It's been a short summer. You remember when we were in school, Charles? The summers were 3 months long, and I think we went to school, or we returned to school on the Tuesday after Labor Day. And right now we're going to be in service on the first day of August, and we'll be starting the 24-25 school year, and it's upon us. And it was a short summer, but it was a good summer.
When you and I were in school, we didn't get fall break.
No, we didn't get fall break, and sometimes we didn't get spring break. If it snowed a lot during the winter, they took those days, if you remember, and you know that was kind of a double-edged sword. You wanted to get out for the snow, but you didn't want to take away your spring break as well. And we did not get the President's Day holiday. We did not get Martin Luther King holiday. We didn't get an extra couple of days for Thanksgiving. We didn't get a long Christmas break like we do now. So there's obviously been some changing of the times over the years. And again, it's been good. It's benefited a lot of folks. I think our students have adjusted well, and it's all they know. They don't know about the good old days that we talk about. Charles, I remember the snowstorm, I guess it's 78 or whatever, where we missed so much school that we had to go on Saturdays some. Yes. And listen, can you imagine the uproar that would be if you tried to make our kids and our students go to school on Saturday to make up time now?
You may correct me on this, but I think we missed almost all of January.
Yeah, it was a long time. I know that, and I know that living in the country and without a lot of playmates around, it was brutal for me, I'll tell you that.
That was a rough one. Well, how many years now have you been the communications director?
This will be my 6th year, Charles. 35 years at the Daily Messenger as sports editor. This is my 6th year in education. It's been a learning experience. Certainly it's been a good experience for me. I learn about education every day, and it is ever-changing. I equate it to technology. Seemingly, just about the time I think I get a handle on things, there's something new that comes along, and that's not all bad. You know, I think it keeps you sharp. I think it obviously is for the best interest of our students. A lot of great relationships I've made in these 6 years, and reaching out to some folks that maybe I previously knew in another capacity, I'm able now to share in a different type of capacity. And it's been really good. I've enjoyed myself, worked for good people. We have good people in Union City Schools, and I know so do other systems as well. But our people are dedicated to our kids. Our mottos are no excuses and whatever's best for kids, and that's what we try to do, and what's the operation that we try to follow at Union City Schools.
Even in all of your years with the newspaper, when you took this job, I've asked you before, you didn't realize just how much goes on in the school systems every day, did you?
I really didn't. And again, whether it's public relations or promotions or informational age, and there's so many venues you can use to get your message out. And you know, right now we operate under the guise of nobody can tell your story like you, and we try to do that with our faculty and with our students and with our accomplishments of those people. And you know, Charles, it's still all about relationships. It's about this is still small town, small rural America. You want to see your coworkers at Walmart and the grocery store and church, and you do. And it's a close-knit community, and you know most everyone. And you know, and you tie education in there as well. And education is so important. And it's changed so much over the years from what you and I remember as education. Never had any idea. Thankfully for me, mine was only the third job created as far as being in any type of school promotions or communications director. So I was allowed to basically build my own brand here, and I'm proud to say that we as Union City Schools, in my 5 previous years, we have attracted a little bit over 5 million views to our social media websites, our school website, X, Facebook. It allows us to get our message out. It allows us to inform our stakeholders, and it's been a really good fit for me moving forward.
And as you just said, you didn't have a pattern to go by because you were the first person to ever have this position.
Yeah, and I think for me, and a couple of very important people were, one was at Graves County High School and one was at Dyersburg, allowed me to reach out to them. They had a little bit of what we're trying to do, and we've mixed in academics and art and athletics, all three, and I think none of those folks do that. They either they're heavy on academics or they're heavy on athletics, and we've been able to mix all three of those topics. And so, I mean, if you want to learn anything about what's going on in Union City schools in any level, Charles, be it the elementary school, middle school, high school, we have over 1,700 students in our school system, and certainly there's something for everybody. I think the thing for me is that I've been able to get my eyes open a little bit about what goes on the elementary school level and the middle school level, and those are so different than the high school level and just covering athletics there. And it's made me appreciate our people. It's made me appreciate the roles that they have in shaping our society and education.
I think it's a position that every school system needs now because, as you said, with all the views and likes on your social media, that's how many people are seeing what's going on. You're selling your school system, right?
We are, and I've always said that Union City has something for everybody. If you want to be an academic scholar, I can point to our ACT scores that are sixth best in the state. I can point to the fact that our senior class last year had 78. It was a small class, but they earned $3.5 million in scholarships, over 2,200 community service hours. You obviously can go a long way towards getting your college education paid for by scoring well on some of the standardized tests and earning money. If you're into the arts, our band is renowned, and the fact that they've had so much success, not only in local contests, but state contests and national contests, be it in Indianapolis. They've traveled to Southern California. They've traveled to Arizona, Hawaii, Florida, been able to do so many things. And athletics, Charles, I think you count all the state championships there, not only for teams, but in individuals as well. And I think it's a situation to where you pick what you want, to excel at, what you think you're good at, and Union City Schools can provide you the opportunity to gain a spotlight and to gain some notoriety as well.
I agree with you. And the old saying, your school system is the backbone of your community, I think is very true.
I've talked to so many, Charles, administrators, and they tell you that at the beginning of the school year, your success in football is so important because it sets the tone for the rest of the school year. And Jim Poteet, a longtime Humboldt High School principal, and later a member of the TSSAA Board of Directors and Board of Control, and then what later went on to Chester County, told me that for the first time. And I've been able to sit back and look at that. And again, it's a small town community, and you want to have pride in your school and in your kids, and whether you're alumni or whether you've moved here from somewhere else. I think in any small town, Charles, churches and schools are the backbones of those communities.
That is true. And now your guys are out there practicing football on the field every day, getting ready for the regular season. I was over watching them one day last week, and I bet you 10 to 15 cars went by honking the horn at them.
Exactly.
While they're practicing football.
Exactly.
Coach Markle said, I have to keep their attention.
It's a great tool to have. Focus, focus, focus. Don't look at who's driving down, and whether it's a girl or whether it's a family member. And, you know, the proximity of our practice field there to the road there certainly has some distractions, I'm sure, for Coach Markle and his
staff.
But
it's the excitement of it. People are happy. They're seeing them out there. They're like, oh, my goodness, it's almost football season.
It is. It's almost here. And no matter how hot it is right now, we know that pumpkin spice and fall is around the corner. That goes with football, and certainly the tradition that we've had here at Union City with 4 state championships in the past and regularly a deep run in the state playoffs obviously lends to excitement. You compare eras, you compare players, and you compare coaches and different things that are going on in different classifications, but it's always a special time of the year. There's something about War Memorial Stadium and a place to be, and we've created a great atmosphere there. Our facilities are second to none. Our turf management bunch does a great job keeping our fields in shape. We've made some upgrades over the years and going to continue to do that as well, Charles, and looking forward to seeing what our stadium evolves and looks like over the next few years.
Do you see AstroTurf on War Memorial Stadium?
I do not, and I do not just simply because of the research we've done and the knee injuries and the things that seemingly have been more prevalent with the AstroTurf. Now, obviously, from a care standpoint, I think you have to look at it from a cost. I know, I think in the past they've had the rubber pellets out there, as part of the turf. We've played at several places that I think have been positive experiences. We played at places where the turf wasn't as good. It's so hard underneath there. And again, I just think that for the foreseeable future, I think we'll be staying with natural grass. If we had poor facilities, obviously it'd be easier to make that transition, but we don't. And our guys do a great job of getting our fields ready on Friday night.
And also, as you just said, we start the season on Friday nights with our T-shirts and shorts, and a lot of times end with coveralls and sock toboggan.
If you're fortunate to advance that far, and you get a little bit of all seasons. You're right. You start with the summertime, and you maybe get a little bit of fall in there, and then you go straight into winter. And I think that's the excitement, Charles. And I think football is so special because there's the build up to Friday night. You don't play 2 or 3 nights a week. I mean, it's a difficult game. It's a demanding game. It's a physical game. And I think the build up towards each and every Friday night is what makes it special.
Well, let's talk about the upcoming school year and fill us in on the calendar.
Charles, we're here. It's time. It's the 1st of August. Our teachers have put in some professional development, some work days this summer. We'll start next week in earnest on the 1st. Got 3 professional development days, and then we'll start in earnest on the 6th, where we have registration at all 3 of our campuses. We had first day our kids will be in class will be August the 8th. We will go until Labor Day and have a little break. We'll go again about another 5 weeks, and we'll have a fall break in October, and then everybody will look forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's 180 days, Charles. We got the traditional breaks, MLK Day. We've got President's Day. We've got a spring break and fall break, as I mentioned. We'll be out for Good Friday. Right now, our tentative schedule is for graduation to be on May 17th. At War Memorial Stadium. We're looking at maybe some different things there as far as either a daytime or a nighttime graduation. It's a bigger class this year, Charles. I think everybody is finally putting COVID in the rearview mirror. We've gotten over that. Our enrollment has rebounded and it continues to increase. We had a couple, maybe 3 years back to where our graduating classes were smaller, but we're going to have a much more traditional size graduating class for the 24-25 school year.
And you made a special announcement again just recently that all children will be taken care of with their supplies.
Yeah, and that was big. Boy, it's big for our families, especially the ones that have multiple children. Charles, right now some of the worries and some of the concerns that some of our families had are gone because they're going to get free breakfast. They're going to get free lunch, and they're going to get their school supplies taken care of. So bottom line is, all that peripheral stuff is out the window now. We can focus on teaching and learning, and that's great for our kids because they're going to have what they need. The parents are not going to have to worry about, okay, what do I sacrifice in order to get my kid what they need as far as school money, as far as lunches, as far as supplies. And it's something that our Board of Education has been so gracious to do the last few years. And Coach Kennedy has obviously ramrodded that project, and very happy to be able to provide that.
Is there a uniform standard in school this year?
We will be going back to traditional dress code in middle school, and it's been that way in high school. It's a polo shirt with a collar or whatever. We'll have Fridays will be Spirit Days. Mm-hmm. There will be other special Spirit Days during the school years. Got to have a belt. Got to tuck your shirt in. There was one time where that was such a hot button topic, Charles. Mm-hmm. It's not so much anymore. I know we had some relaxed statuses during COVID, and after that, our elementary still will be able to wear school spirit stuff on a regular basis or whatever. That's such a different. I've laughed. We have 3 different campuses, and they're almost like 3 different cities because in elementary school, you're training kids to teach them about discipline. You're teaching them about structure and routine. Sometimes you have to do the parents as well, because they're young parents and they've not had kids to go through the demands of being in school. At middle school, they're trying to figure out whether they're big or little over there. That's a very tricky age in grades 5 through 8. And then in high school, they get to the situation of where people are starting to make future plans, what they want to do, what they're interested in, or whatever. So a lot of unique needs and a lot of unique approaches as far as getting the best out of our young people. But the dress code is something that I think that people are going to be okay with. And I think you can go into our buildings and look and see our kids look good. They look nice, and they don't have the bullying of what you have on is not as good as what I have on or whatever. And we do a great job with that, I think.
Again, today we are speaking with Mr. Mike Hutchens. He is the School Communications Director for the Union City School System. It's always a pleasure to have Mike on our program. And during the off days of summer break, there's always a lot of work that goes on the campus, and this year was no different.
Yeah, Charles, I think one of the things that Mr. Kennedy has done that gets probably not the attention that it should and goes unnoticed some is that every summer we use teachers, coaches, and a select number of young people with just some basic level projects in our school system. And it traditionally saves our school system more than $200,000 that if you had to contract that labor out and bring in professionals. It's painting, it's stripping floors and re-waxing them. It's doing some tidying and basically some dressing up of some areas that may need some attention. Now, we've had some other projects this summer. We've done some paving at the high school. Right behind the field house, we've done some paving in the parking lot behind our middle school and in our car line at the elementary school. Those were big things for us that we were able to do. Another thing is, Charles, we have installed security tape, and I know you and Mr. Kennedy visited about that on each of our front doors and back doors at each and every school. It's a safety precaution. It's kind of the deal of, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and we're trying to keep our people as safe as possible from any and all harm or threat that may come to them. Had a company come in, and I know that there's been several other systems in the area that's also used them. It's a film that you put on the entrance levels. It deters any type of harm from coming to your students or whatever, does not allow glass to shatter. That's been the other big project that we've used for outside people. But I think if you look at our campuses, and again, whether it's touching up, whether it's a major overhaul, whether it's situation of painting, of stripping, of moving furniture from room to room, our folks do a great job. Chuck Reedy in transportation, Tim James in our custodial services. We have folks there who take great pride. And one of the things that I think this summertime work helps, it kind of gives our people some ownership. When you go by something that looks good, you say, well, how did that happen? Well, Coach so-and-so and his crew, they did that this summer, or we were able to do something else. I know in the past we've done some, we'll always do our gym floors. We'll always resurface those, and that's very important. And again, we have nice facilities, Charles, and to keep them nice and to upgrade them when the opportunity is there is something that we take great pride in.
You'll see them out over there during the summer putting down new mulch.
Yeah, new mulch, pressure washing.
Yes,
things,
flowers.
and it's been. You watch young people, and maybe some young people get a bad rap. Well, it's a lazy society, and they don't care anything about anybody. But I'm gonna tell you what, we've been fortunate to employ some of our young people that are still in school and some that are graduating, and they do take pride, right, and they show up. And they're on time.
Work all summer.
And they work all summer, and I think that really they enjoy their experience at UNC schools.
And I think Director Kennedy said, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the work starts the day after school dismisses, right?
It does. He gets busy. One of the things he does in one of our last admin meetings of the school year is he allows each principal at each school to have a wish list. What would you like? What can we do for you this summer? What does your building need? What kind of attention can we do? And our principals do a great job of identifying those needs at their building. And I know not everybody is as fortunate as we are to be able to have the opportunities to increase the value and certainly the way things look around your campuses. And we've done a good job with that. We continue to.
What about new faculty or staff that may be on board this year?
Got 9 new teachers, Charles. We had new teacher orientation last week. We've got some new folks coming in that we're really excited about. A handful of those are at the elementary school. We got a couple at middle school. We've had some transfers where we've moved some people around and been able to see where there's some needs that we can get better within. But I'm excited about our new people. They've come in enthusiastic. One of the things we've noticed, Charles, is that people who have been at other places and other school systems seem to really appreciate the opportunity for Union City Schools. And whether it's the treatment of faculty and staff, whether it's the expectations, I'll tell you what, you're going to get what you need to succeed and excel at Union City Schools. The rest of it will be up to you. You're not going to have any wants or needs. I told the new teachers, hey, you people who come here from places that may have had discipline issues, that's off the table here. We're going to take care of that. You're going to be expected to come and teach, which is your field of expertise. And they're excited about getting to do that. They've heard a lot of good things about Union City Schools. We'll have our professional development day. We always have a little theme. This year it's Rise Up, and it's Rise Up to every challenge. Mr. Kennedy will present several gifts to the entire faculty. They always get excited about that. We'll have some drawings. We'll do some motivational things, and then we'll get down to some training that's necessary for us to have in several state programs.
And you have active SROs in each of your buildings, too.
Each of the 3 buildings, Charles, you're right. Rafe Whaley kind of pioneers. I think he's the longest tenured SRO in the state of Tennessee. Does a tremendous job at our high school. Jacob Rogers is at our middle school. He came on last year, and Jacob has really fit in well and does a great job there. And then over at our elementary school is Stephanie Mosley, who's been a longtime fixture there. And I'm going to tell you, people know and they recognize and they know the expectations we have there, Charles. And so therefore we have fewer and fewer instances of maybe that we might have to handle or whatever, but our kids are well behaved, and those SROs, they are priceless. And not only the job they do, but just the feeling they give off that, hey, you're safe here. You know what? Let's learn. You don't have to worry about being in fear, and that is certainly something that you can't say at every other school system.
And the kids build good relationships with those officers.
Oh, they do. They do.
And vice versa, too.
Exactly. And again, we've had numerous intruder training drills over the years. Again, as time goes on and you see some of the things that happen in other places, Charles, you want to prepare yourself. You want to prepare your faculty. I think everybody has their own idea. Of, hey, if I'm confronted by somebody, this is what I'm going to do. No, this is what you're going to do. And our folks are trained there, and Officer Whaley does a great job of getting his folks in line, and they do a great job of keeping us safe.
Great addition. You also were going to talk about pre-K screening and testing.
Yeah, I had that this past week, Charles. We had over 120 pre-K kids come in, and they got the initial testing and screening there, and learned some things. We're so excited about these new golden tornadoes that have come in, and we're going to have 6 classes of those, and just to see those little fresh faces come in, and they're eager to learn, Charles. And I mean they take right to you, and then of course the relationships start there with faculty and staff, and our people over in the elementary school, they do such a great job of making kids feel comfortable, making them feel like this is a safe place, and I can come here and because they have that atmosphere and that environment, it's conducive to learn. It's conducive to learn there, and they do a tremendous job. We're able to have some folks in. I know we had some of our area partners in. The Carl Perkins Center was there. We had our local health department there. We had our speech pathologists and language folks there with Maddie Britt and with Stacy Hogan, and our school nurse was there, and just a lot of people to identify any type of needs you may have coming into the school year to where we can start without letting something get down the road and not addressing it.
Well, let's talk about athletics, because football season is upon us.
Football season is here. Charles, we've had a change at the top of our schedule. We're going to open the year, instead of at Ensworth, we're going to open the year at Murray High. I think the Murray Highs and the Mayfields are the people that we need to play, that we want to play, to measure ourselves. I mean, we're very fortunate to be right on the state line here, to where it's not such a far drive. They've got a great program. Charles, they won a state championship. They've had a couple of state runners up. They're traditionally, if it weren't for Mayfield, you'd hear a lot more about Murray. I'll tell you that. And they do a good job with what they have. They're a little bit larger school, have about 550 kids in their high school, but we're excited about them. Our athletics, Charles, I just think you go back and look, and just this past year alone, we've had a couple of state champions in track and field, and Keaton Brown and Adrian Crawford. We have others who competed. Our doubles team of Molly Kaiser and Shelby Bondred were state runners-up. Our girls tennis team was state runner-up for the fourth time. Just great success. Our football team went to the quarterfinals. Our baseball team advanced to the state tournament. I think you just look up and down. Our basketball team made the Elite Eight and made the big dance there in the state tournament. We just have so much success. We have good folks at the top of the ladder. We have kids who are committed and want to get better. And again, if athletics is your deal, you can come here and you can feel very certain that you're going to get the opportunity to play on the highest level. We've added some new coaches. Lazarus Scribner is going to be our new head soccer coach. Jessica Graham returns, Charles, to do the volleyball. We're really excited about her and what she brings. This will be her third tenure there. We've got some new folks in our middle school system. Tracy Bruff's going to be our middle school baseball coach. It's going to be, I think, a great addition to our feeder program there. Maddie Britt has been hired as the new high school tennis coach. She's done the middle school the last couple of years, was a great player in high school. She's transitioned as an assistant and now is going to take over the program on the high school level. Josh Cowan, the middle school, he moves into that role as the head coach there, and we're excited about what he brings and what's coming along with him there. And, you just got good people. And I think it's really important, Charles, to utilize your good people. You identify, hey, they do this well or they do this well, and you put them in a spot to where they can succeed and excel. And by and large, through the middle school and high school, our athletics is in great shape, I believe, moving forward.
And all sports that you have are treated with great facilities, too. Yeah,
they are. Again, hey, you don't have to worry about mowing the field if you're a head football coach. That's unheard of at most places. The head coach has to take care of the field, and that means surrounding the field as well as the field itself. You don't have to do anything in basketball. Our custodial people take care of the floor. We take care of the facilities. Baseball is the same way as football, and softball certainly the same way as well. And again, when you have the tools to be successful, then it all comes back to you. Hey, if you win, it's because of you. And if you don't, hey, you need to look inward and let's see how we can get better and advance a little bit further.
You have a new track, and they are maybe doing it now or scheduled to resurface the tennis courts there at the middle school.
Yeah, so. and again, our track program has taken off. State runner-up in the boys, first time ever. Charles Wade Maddox has done a tremendous job there. We spoke about Adrian Crawford. We spoke about Keaton Brown. We've got some up-and-comers in the girls as well. They finished sixth. I think this is the third straight year they've been in the top 10 or whatever. Rising fortunes for UNC High School track.
Mike Hutchens, the School Communications Director for the Union City School System. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate the information you've brought to us today, Mike.
Thanks, Charles. Again, if I can just take a second, and I just want to tell you how much I appreciate our relationship, not only personally but professionally. Thunderbolt Broadcasting does a great job of highlighting and covering and having fair assessment of Union City schools. We're appreciative of that. I go back to the relationships, and again, that's what this business is all about. It's what your business is all about too. I feel like I can pick up the phone at any time of the day or night and call Charles Choate. He can get me what I need, or he can direct me to somebody that can if he can.
Well, Mike, I appreciate that, and I do appreciate all you do for our newsroom. And that concludes this week's 30 Minutes program. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.